Welcome to another edition of the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase. Tonight we continue our mission of helping to support original music in the Delaware Valley with our three-step process. Listen, experience, and pass on original music in the Delaware Valley. But we need your help to get the word out. So let's get started. Tonight's artist is from Delaware. Her classical training has led her through her career, but her original music is her heart and soul. Let's meet Lori here on the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase.
Some people think the world is so damn small, they limit themselves without any walls. Well, I don't know if it's my destiny. I just want to see how big the box can be. I make the box, I live in. I make the box, yeah, make it bigger now. I make the box, I live in. Whoa, I make the box. Well, I tell myself what I'm gonna do. I tell you, you tell me I'm a fool. Yeah, I don't care, cause you're gonna see. No well-behaved woman makes history. I make the box, I live in. I make the box, yeah, make it bigger now. I make the box, I live in. Whoa, I make the box. Well, I'm not too old, but I'm too fat all day, and I'm not too born rubbing in my skin. My clothes are mine, the things that limit me. I make the box, it don't make me. I make the box, I live in. I make the box, yeah, make it bigger now. I make the box, I live in. Whoa, I make the box. This world we live in is so darn big. It's a great adventure that I wanna see. I'm not content to live vicariously. I won't stay at home and just watch TV. No, 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 no. Now I don't wanna hear your excuse for all the things that you did not do. 'Cause life's too short to live with regret. So get out the box that ain't open yet. You make the box, you live in. You make the box, yeah, make it bigger now. You make the box, you live in. Whoa, I make the box, I live in. I make the box, make it big, make it real big. I make the box that I live in. Whoa, I said, whoa.
So now you got a taste of her music. Let's find out more about her in the interview.
That doesn't mean I can't leave tall buildings if I make a mistake.
My name is Lori Citro, and I started playing the piano when I was 5. My father was in moving storage business, and he would sell off furniture that was in the basement, and we weren't allowed to go down there when the furniture was there. And this one particular time, there was a piano. Somebody wanted to get rid of the piano, and they weren't going to take it when they moved, so he was going to sell that off, and it was in the basement. And somehow I must have heard that there was a piano down there. I think they must have let it drop. And so I started sneaking down there to play the piano. And we were like, if I got caught, I was going to get in big trouble. So my dad one day came home, and I was down there playing it. And I thought I was going to get a spanking. And instead he said, Lori, do you want that piano? And I was like, yes. So I was so excited. And I still have that piano to this day. I've actually rebuilt it. Has tuning dates. The original tuning date that I have is 1901. It's an upright grand Cable Nelson, which was eventually sold to Baldwin. So that's how I got involved, and I started playing piano, taking lessons then. My first teacher was on the road a lot the first year. So, but when I was in sixth, I ended up with another teacher named Mrs. Dampani that was down on Harmony County Road in Newark, and I had her, straight through middle school. So.
can only promise it won't be my last. I am not your supergirl. I am only flesh and blood. I cannot rescue you. I can only give my love.
Well, the first song that I wrote, I was 10. And I was in school, and my chorus teacher wanted us to write something. It was an assignment, and I ended up writing a whole little sonatina. I called it Sonatina NG. And she wanted to have it published, but my parents wouldn't let her because of copyrights and royalties and all kind of stuff. Like, they were just, leery about the whole thing. So that's when I started writing. And then when I was in middle school, I really wrote songs instead of like writing in a diary. I would just go to the piano all the time, and that just became the thing that I did. And I didn't know other people wrote songs. In fact, when I was little, I only thought you had to be like dead before they played your songs on the radio, because I only heard like classical music, like Beethoven, or I heard old, people like Perry Como and Tony Bennett and things like that my dad and mom would listen to. So I wasn't even really aware of rock music until I was at about middle school. And I wasn't allowed to play any contemporary music. I remember I was in 6th grade and I got to hear Both Sides Now by, it was Judy, gosh, I'm drawing a blank. What was her name? Judy Collins had recorded it, and also Love is Blue, which was a piano solo that was popular on the radio, and I had heard them. And they must have been popular on my dad's station, I don't know. But I wanted those songs, so I was allowed to have that music. That was the first music that wasn't classical piano, that I was allowed to play. Or church hymns. I played, in 5th grade, I was playing on the regular rotation at Red Lion Methodist Church down the street. So I was like, in 5th grade, playing for all the old ladies. When I got to middle school, I wanted to play so much. I wanted to be able to sing, and I always ended up playing for everybody. So I remember in middle school, I did not tell my chorus teacher that I could play the piano, because I knew I would be playing the piano for the chorus. So I waited until the last day of middle school when I was going on to high school, and sat down at the piano and played. And he immediately got on the phone and said, "What high school are you going to?" I called my high school and said, "You have an accompanist coming." So my whole freshman year, I played for all the choruses, and I never got to sing in chorus when I got to high school. And then my sophomore year, they had all-state chorus, and I scored so high in the state when I auditioned for, they always want to send people just to get, to say we got 30 people in all-state. So I went and I scored so high, and my music teacher was like, "I didn't know you could sing." I was like, "That's because you only had me play the piano."
I've been through this before, so clearly I don't have X-ray vision. If you're looking for more,
Well, I would definitely say it's very singer-songwriter pop. I'm very pop, more like Sarah Bareilles type of music. The things that I write, or like Sarah McLachlan, Amy Mann in the folk things. But I would definitely say I have that kind of feel. And I had, over the years, that was my initial experience was classical, and then I moved into musical theater, and then I, in my early 20s, I moved into playing rock and singer-songwriter stuff out on the circuit. I was in a band called Last Metro, which was all like Talking Heads kind of thing, and we were all original. And then I went into The Stand, which was all like Americana Bodines. We opened for the Bodines and T-Bone Burnett and things like that. And when I played with them, on both of those bands, I was like, just a player, I was a writer for Last Metro, but not for The Stand. I didn't do any of the writing. So that kind of changed and opened my experience when I played in those other bands. I initially remember when I was in Last Metro, I went to New York City and I studied MIDI synthesis. I went off to school because I felt like I didn't know anything about keyboards and electronics and computers and stuff like that. So I left my day job and went up to school in New York, just so I could be better at that. And then I, learned how to hook everything up on the computer. So I think it was kind of early and cutting edge when I did that. I mean, it was during the Talking Heads 80s phase, the end of the 80s for me. And then the stand was in the beginning of the 90s. So that's when I went into, and I've always played in original bands. I haven't played in cover bands or anything like that. And I mean, I can play covers, but I prefer originals and being able to bring my own thing there. And since then, I've done a lot of solo stuff. But initially, I was really too shy to just be a solo artist.
Superpowers I'm only human. I'm not your Supergirl. I'm only flesh and blood.
One of my first ones was called Red Shoes. It's an EP, which you obviously know is a Dorothy theme. So one of the songs I was getting ready to play for you is called Black Dress, which a lot of people, a lot of my fans like. It was I heard it so long ago, it's like a girl on MySpace friended me. And she had this weird picture where she was putting her hands through something and you could see her hands going through, but you didn't know where they were going. And it looked like she was putting out windows. So when I clicked on, it was a black and white picture. When I clicked on the picture to see what she was doing, it was at full length. And she was in a phone booth, a British phone booth, so it was candy apple red, and she had shoes on like this, and she had a tight black dress. And I went, oh gosh, when I lose 15 pounds, I am going to get a tight black dress like that and some shoes like that, and I'm going to wear it. But then instead I went right down to the piano and I wrote a song about doing that and all the things that you wait to, don't put off your life. Don't save it for later, do it now. And that's what that song is about, Black Dress. I'm going to put on my black dress and I'm going to do it now. So I did get these are my shoes and this is my piano. And I did get the shoes, but they are uncomfortable, so I do not wear them. So that was what made me, with that CD, the things that are on here are, okay, so there was Black Dress with the red shoes. But then I also have a song called Dorothy, which is about I've done the Wizard of Oz like 4 or 5 times. I've done the Wiz, I've done 2 different versions of the Wizard of Oz, played them. So one time while I was doing one of the Wizard of Oz versions, I wrote this song called Dorothy, which is Don't Call Me Dorothy, Just Call Me Dot, and it has like some little vignettes of that on there. So everything on this CD has a little bit to do with, Shoe. There's a song that I wrote called Shoe, but it's like a shoe, be-doo, shoe, be-doo. And then there's Dorothy, and then there's Black Dress. So they all kind of they are not, they're not like a sequel or anything. They don't go together, but they do go together. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're like a family. And then Let's Make It Last, which was during that same period of time, and a song called Camera. And then I had it as a bonus, Small Town USA, because I got asked to write a song for a possible reality show, and then it all fell through. So that's on there, and that's a little bit Bruce Springsteen-y kind of song, and so that was just a bonus that people had. When I did Pandora's Box, I had like my first 6, and then I had my next 6 in case we got past that. But I was using like Sheila Hershey on cello. So the one that's on there on Pandora's Box is Amsterdam, and that does have a full-blown strings, cello and violin and everything in that song on the CD. I think if you want to be an original artist, or if you are an artist or musician, that you just have to do it, and you have to keep doing it, and you have to do it regardless of what happens, like regardless of outside circumstances, whether it's COVID or whether it's the economy or whatever. You you're an artist, so you just keep doing it. And you may never, like a lot of people nowadays, because we have this whole reality-based, you know, capitalist society now. That's not what we used to have with artists. You know, Beethoven, they didn't have TV. People lose so much of their life and time and creative juices, wasting it doing you know, on fluff, like they keep us like locked in like the Matrix. But as an artist, I would never discourage a person from doing it. I would say, don't think you're going to be famous. You're not doing it to be famous. You know, too many people do it for the wrong reason. If you're an artist, it's who you are. It's in your core. So you just keep doing it no matter what. And I find myself now, like I've been really studying, and I hadn't done this before, but like what other composers and artists have done. Like I've gone to other countries, and when I go there, I go to a lot of museums and stuff. I went to Norway, and I went to see like Edvard Grieg's home, or Edvard Munch, Henrik Ibsen's home, and I went to see Vigeland Park, which is like this sculpture, and the massive amount of work these people have done in their lifetime. Even like when you read about Beethoven, is you just kind of go, wow, I am really skimming the bottom of the barrel. I'm just not doing enough if when I die, what legacy I leave behind, you know? And I really think that that's probably more the impetus as an artist. You should be thinking more about, how do I explore everything? How do I keep my interest going? And it does ebb and flow. There are times that I want to do it more than others. There are times that I always say I'm going to quit. But at the core of who I am, it's what I'll do no matter what.
Now it's time for more music from Lori here on the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase.
Your smile is so warm, but you might as well be on the moon. down the end of the road. Take my life, don't go there alone. Let's go together. We'll both know better. I'll say what I have and then some if you like company. Take my heart, take